What's up, engine nerds? We're back with another episode. And first things first, I just want to share about something in the engineering community that I started working on, and seems like it's actually going pretty well. So, as you know, I actually didn't even notice this, but I always start these videos with "What's up, engine nerds?" Engine nerd was a nickname I was given while at college, and I kind of liked it and thought it was a good one. So I ended up putting it in my bio, engine nerd. And I've been starting all these videos calling everyone engine nerds, and kind of was like started developing a community with all of this, with like young engineers or people looking to get into it. And I think it's been cool. So I'm gonna just call it the engine nerd community or the club, engine nerd club, whatever it is. And I made like a joke Instagram video the other day, like I'm starting the engine nerd club, and got a huge response from people being like, "How do I join?" And I was like, "Oh crap! All right, let me figure this out." So first things first, it's not like a pay to get in club. I don't like any of that stuff. That's weird. But I will say, if you want to be an engine nerd, toss it in your Instagram bio. That's what I did. I think it'd be awesome to kind of spread that kind of just around social media, just because I don't know, you should be proud of being an engineering major, but it's like a little bit extra, like engine nerd. It's just fun. So toss it in your bio. And then I started a channel on Instagram, and thinking of like sharing, maybe articles in the engineering world as they come up, or, like that New York building was like, had some buckled columns, just like, I don't know, sharing stuff like that. But then I'm kind of like, not everyone in it is like a structural engineering major. Maybe they're mechanical. So it's like, I don't know. So I got stuff to work out. But one thing I did start working on is merch, because I thought having personally, I thought it'd be cool to have like an engineered hoodie just for myself. Like I just wanted one. And then with this response, I was like, oh, you know what? It seems like other people might want that too. And I kind of thought of it as like, when you're on the football team at your school, like you have, like I went to Cal Poly, so it was like you had your Cal Poly football, and you're part of the team, you're in the club, it's gives you that camaraderie, brotherhood, sisterhood, and all that stuff. So the goal is kind of to do that, but for engineering majors, because once you get to college, most people don't, they're not playing on a sport team anymore. So you can get like, the Cal Poly engineering merch, which is cool. No problem with it. But this is just something I thought would be cool. So if you want to rep the Engine Nerd Club, I guess I'll show you. This is the first mock-up. Let's see if you can see that. And then I'll zoom in. Just a mock-up, so you kind of don't get the full experience, but I should have a sample soon. Share it with you guys when I have it. Just start teasing it, basically. But if you want to hear about this or the drop for it, join, I guess it's my broadcast channel on Instagram. I have no idea how to use it or what I've really been doing on it. But if you want to get the hoodie or something like that, or have any feedback, shoot me a message or join that. But yeah, just something I wanted to share with you guys. Appreciate all you engine nerds who do watch this and send me questions. It gives me value and meaning, and I think it's awesome. So I appreciate it. But anyways, today I'm going to talk about freshman year at college. I got two messages from kids going to Cal Poly in their freshman year, so I'll kind of orient a lot of things towards Cal Poly, but there should be some like general overarching things about just your freshman year in general, studying engineering. So first question was from Shane. Hey man, I start school at Cal Poly slow in less than 2 weeks for civil engineering. As someone who went there and majored in civil engineering, I was wondering if you had any specific tips or advice for the major or school itself. Thank you so much. Shane, you're gonna love it, I hope. But Cal Poly, I know I said it, I'll talk about Cal Poly and then stuff in general, but Cal Poly is a great university for engineering. And the number one reason and the biggest differentiator between other schools is because of their motto, learn by doing. So when you get to Cal Poly, or just if you were to go to college, usually it's like you go to classes and you learn theory, math, some application of like what you would do, but it's really all textbook stuff. Cal Poly does an incredible job of giving you that textbook information that you need, helping you learn it, but then giving you just a supplication of the hands-on labs. So, I mean, for me, like my freshman year was COVID, so we kind of got limited onto like online labs. but every quarter you're there. I mean, there's semesters now. That's why he said he's starting in 2 weeks because it's coming up. But and when you get there, you will literally be in labs. I think like your freshman year. I don't remember with mine because it was COVID, but I'm pretty sure like all 4 years you have hands-on labs. And the number one thing I'll say about if you're in high school watching this and you're like, hey, I want to, the way he's talking about university sounds awesome. What you want to look at is polytechnic universities because polytechnic universities, it kind of means they have that. I guess I could probably look it up right now and tell you what polytechnic means. I remember I looked it up before. Meaning. But polytechnic means skilled in many arts or crafts. So I guess that doesn't really help. But what a polytechnic school does, hands-on learning. And I'll just cut it there because that's all you need. And the hands-on learning is awesome. The biggest reason it is because if you go to a theory-based school, let's be honest, theory is hard. You're studying something hard. No matter what you do in engineering, it's difficult. But when you get to go grind in, library or learn something difficult, and then you get to go do something hands-on and apply that theory to a real-world application, it makes the learning curve so much better. So, like you learn when I was learning about concrete and like compression, tension, rebar, like all that stuff, how it does, really good compressive strength, but really good in tension. But then you add rebar and it helps out the tension. You're kind of like, all right, and you do the equations and you do it. And then you go outside, you pour some rebar and then you go smash it. And you just get to watch it all happen with your hands. That made all of my classes and it just made it so much easier to comprehend. And that's why if you're an engineer looking at schools, I 100% die on a hill for Cal Poly SLO, but polytechnic schools in general. Not to say you'd get a bad education anywhere else, but if you're like me, where it's like I would never consider myself the smartest in the room. Like I was never just that brainiac. I'm a hard worker for sure, but that ability to go see stuff and get my hands on it and then apply that to what I was learning in the classroom, monumental, game changer. And I honestly believe if I had went to another school, I don't know if I would have made it. I don't know if I would have graduated. I might have dropped out. But Polytechnic, Cal Poly made it difficult, but fun and enjoyable and all around a great experience. So I guess that's just for the high schoolers looking to get into school. But I also wanted to read another one with Shane's from Marco because he said, hey, I'm going to Cal Poly SLO this upcoming fall as a freshman. I'm majoring in civil engineering. Would it be better after I graduated? Should I go for my master's or should I go into the workforce? And that's a good kind of thing to think about, Marco. But going into your freshman year, it's not something to be really that geared towards. The only reason I would think about master's or workforce would be your grades your freshman year, because if you do want your master's, then your GPA kind of has to come into account. So knowing that you want your master's would be helpful. But I would honestly, especially the way Cal Poly does it, I would just enjoy it, go through the process, and then your junior, senior year, and after you've maybe had an internship or two, start looking at, I want to really get into a master's program, or I just want to join the workforce. And I think I talked about that a little bit more in my last video. So I'd watch that on the difference between your master's and then in your workforce. And I'll talk about it in my next one when I talk about the PE exam. So I talked about the FE and I'm going to be talking about the PE. So Marco, watch that one because I'll get more into graduating and then your license with that, because that's where I would answer that. But last question was from Violet. It said, hi, I'm Violet. I'm going into my freshman year at the College of UT Austin, and I'm studying civil engineering and hoping to eventually get a master's in structural engineering. I just want to say I really appreciate your content showing a very balanced and fun lifestyle with engineering, because honestly, not a lot of that out there. It is nice to see as a surfer and runner myself. But anyways, if you have any advice or anything you wish you knew going into college that would benefit your career or helped you find a good balance, I'd really appreciate it. So Violet, Marco, Shane, you're going into your freshman year studying engineering. You are in an incredible place in life. Your freshman year, you're leaving high school, you're getting away from the parents, not in a bad way, but just, you're kind of becoming your own person. And it's an incredible journey to be on. So I'm excited for you. Marco and Shane, you're going to have a blast at Cal Poly. Violet, Austin sounds epic too. I actually don't know if I know anyone that went to UT Austin, so I don't know if I ever heard anything about it, but I'm sure their program's great. And here are some things to note or just maybe take into consideration. Remember, I don't want to tell you what to do, but if I were to do it again, this is what I would tell my younger self. Um, be a yes man first. That's the first point I want to talk about. Be a yes man. You are going to meet so many new people. And this is like a small thing. Be the first person to stick your hand out and say, "Hey, I'm so and shake someone's hand. Just when you're there, be ready to do that at every instance because you'll make, a couple friends and then those friends you'll see other people. As soon as you meet someone new, because, sometimes it's like your friend of a friend and you're just there, the classic meme where it's like you're in the corner while your friend talks to their friend and never introduces you. Just say, "Hey, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you." It'll be a game changer. And that kind of coincides with being a yes man. You will open so many opportunities, new friends, opportunities, class. Like you just open up a new world when you kind of become that outgoing force. And if you're more introverted, that's fine. I still recommend being a yes man. If you have a small group, maybe you have a tight knit group, it's like, "Hey, we want to go do this." Yeah, let's do it. I got to Cal Poly. I guess I kind of surfed and hiked already, but it was like, "Hey, do you want to surf?" It's like, "Yeah, let's go." So be a yes man with your friends and with your education. Um, One thing I do want to share is because it's your freshman year, you'll probably go to parties and you're away from home, you're gonna go a little crazy. Just keep in mind, at more of as like a college community, there are a good amount of people who will kind of do something dumb, make a mistake their freshman year, and you'll kind of be that guy for like all 4 years. So like I remember there was a couple people, maybe they're cool, but maybe they just have one night where they do something dumb, and then you're just kind of that guy, and no one hates you, and you're not getting expelled, nothing crazy, but just keep in mind that the things you kind of do your freshman year are the things that'll kind of represent you the rest of your time there. So personally, I have never drank or smoked ever in my life. And I don't want to just say like be that guy that, is completely sober the whole time because I don't want to promote that. Do whatever you want. But I just want to let you know, be smart, um, be outgoing, nice, be a yes man. And I think it'll set you up for the next 4 years there as opposed to just trashing it one night and hurting your reputation because you definitely don't want to do that. And I have one of my other notes is don't be a douche. It will follow you. So be nice, be open, respect everyone. Don't diss other people for their majors, their living habits, anything about them. Just be open minded, nice, and it will benefit you in the long run. Because I can't stress enough how many people there are who, when you talk to them like about their freshman year, they just, "Oh, I don't want to talk about that." That's something I've seen so much is you'll bring up freshman year, be like, "Oh, that was such a blur. I don't ever want to talk about my freshman year." You don't want to be one of those people. And it just is like, why would you want to have a phase of your life that you don't want to remember or recall? So therefore, live in a way that's like, I'm proud of my who I am, what I'm doing, and I'll be proud of who I was freshman year also. Because personally, I loved my freshman year. I don't have like regrets in terms of like, "Oh, don't talk to me about my freshman year." I had a great time every year of college, every day. I loved it. And that is one thing that not necessarily I regret, but that's why I'm sharing it is the going out and shaking someone's hand first. There's so many people that you'll see and it'll overlap. Like you'll see them once and you'll be like, "Oh, I'll probably never see that guy again." You probably will. Just whenever you meet someone, go out of the way, say, "Hey, I'm so and so," and then if you see him again, just say hi. There are so many people that I met but didn't meet. And it's just kind of like one of those things where your friend's talking to them and you're just kind of there and you don't say hi. You're just like, "Oh yeah, cool." And then you part and you're like, "See ya." And then you don't really talk to them again, but you see them places and you both kind of have that inclination of, I don't know them, they don't know me, but we know of each other, but then you never say hi. And it's just like, just go say hi, make a friend. That's one thing I don't necessarily regret, but I very often where it was like, friend of a friend, and I just didn't go make that connection. And I sometimes wish I did, because then you just see that person everywhere, but you never know them to say hi. So that's something I recommend. Don't be dumb. Don't do stuff you regret. Do not be a douche. And then in terms of your education, we are in a new age with the AI, internet, and all that. My senior year, I graduated Cal Poly in 2024. My senior year, I was talking to a professor, and he said, I just want to share with you guys, I'm teaching a senior class and I'm teaching a freshman class. And he goes, I know it's kind of a joke, but I am seeing, he, I'm trying to think of how he said it. He basically said, this freshman class, I am literally seeing the iPad kid generation in real time. Because, you joke about iPad kids. He goes, the iPad kids that we were joking about are freshmen in college right now when I was a senior. He's like, this is my first time noticing it. And the biggest takeaways that he was sharing with us is their problem solving abilities are in the gutter. They do not have any critical thinking skills or problem solving abilities. And as someone at school, it's all majors. You have to have those basic skills, especially as an engineer. So basically what he was saying is he would give them, problems or questions, and their first thought isn't break down the question, how do I perform it? What's the equation I need? What do I do? It was copy, paste, internet. And their problem solving is that. And you take that barrier away, he said the kids would just be frazzled. It was lazy. Um, and they weren't critically thinking of the problems at hand. And I talked about this in my last episode, but I do want to bring it up again, just in case you're only here for the freshman college. It is very, very easy to cheat, get good grades, cut corners. It just is in this day and age. There's some professors that go above and beyond to make sure that you have to actually know the stuff, like handwritten tests, stuff like that. But the general amount of classes, it is very easy to submit something for a grade. But and as a freshman, it is super tempting. You just want to go have fun. You want to submit. You want to get a good grade. Everything about it's just nice. But you need to have the integrity to take a step back and say, why am I here? I'm trying to learn a skill. I'm trying to have educational value in the academia that I am pursuing. And you got to put yourself in the hard situations. And sometimes it sucks. Sometimes you have to really take that step back to be like, I'm here for a reason. And I am not going to chat GPT this essay or whatever it is. And I just will say it's easy and the temptation's always there, but you need to understand you will never be doing yourself a favor when you do that. And all of your peers will be doing that. And if that's really the route you want to go and you don't care about what you're learning, in the kindest way, I would drop out. If you find yourself submitting stuff just for the grade and you don't care about what you're learning, you might not be there for the right reasons. You should save the money and drop out. If you just want to go have fun and meet friends and party, do that without paying the school a bunch of money because it doesn't make sense. Probably sounds weird coming, like to hear, but hold yourself to a higher standard, have some integrity. And if you don't like it, don't pay for it. But if you are, then why would you not want that value? The whole point of going to school is to download information into your brain, not to copy and stuff and submit stuff because at the end of the day, all you're getting is a piece of paper. Yes. Because after you graduate, you get your piece of paper. Yeah, that's what you get. But the information that you now have in your brain is the value that you're there for. So, graduating with all A's, summa cum laude or whatever it is, you get your tassels, your diploma. It doesn't matter because all that matters is what's in your head. That's the whole point of why you're there. And it is changing times. And the AI, and it's hurt. I'm watching it hurt people. The professor said, like these younger kids, there's no critical thinking abilities anymore, and it's just hard to watch. So be different, be the outlier that is committed to the craft. I always say, I'm like, I'm a man of the craft. I'm committed to it. I'm an engine nerd. I'm a nerd about what I love, the math behind what I love, and solving problem for me, houses, structures, making sure stuff doesn't fall, making sure there's an earthquake, and what I build protects families. And you have to have integrity in that. That's why I love this work. That's why I loved my major. And that's why I want to help promote this to you, because there are so many slackers that you'll see. And last point I'll make is, now that I've kind of grilled you about cheating and no doing it, and now I probably sound like a hard ass, like, oh, study and be a nerd, an engine nerd, it's great. Have a good time. If you don't have a good time, you're going to hate it. And if you hate it, you're going to do bad anyways. You need to find the balance. And that's something I'm always talking about, is the balance between your mind and body. Work hard, study hard, ball out. But at the same time, do intramural sports, go on the hikes. If you're at Cal Poly, if UT Austin, I'm sure there's like lakes. I'm sure there's like a wakeboarding club or something. Go do fun stuff. That's why you're there. You can I fully promote little dumb things. Like, go do little dumb things that your parents would be like, okay, I didn't need to know that. Like, yeah, we went wakeboarding at night, something dumb. Or we went and hiked up a mountain and then camped on it for 2 nights illegally. Okay, I don't know if I can legally say that, but you know what I'm saying? Just like little bit of subtle, I don't know how to say it, and I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I hope you kind of know what I'm saying. Go have a good time. You are young. You are supposed to be dumb. Go do dumb things, but be conscious in the dumb decisions you're making. You don't want to make huge, stupid decisions that are like bad. You just want to you go have a good time. Go, I don't know. I can't keep talking about this, otherwise I'm going to get myself in trouble, and probably one of you, and then I'll get blamed, and then the Engine Nerd Club is dead. So I'll just stop that there. But work hard, don't cheat, have integrity, put yourself in difficult situations, and at the same time, take care of your brain, take care of your body, eat well, be around good people, good friends. That's one of the better things about Cal Poly too, is I was just surrounded by great people. And I was in a fraternity there. I was in ZBT. And I remember I was like, I'm not going to do this fraternity thing. I see all the fraternity stuff. I'm like, I hate this. That's not me. For starters, Cal Poly is not a fraternity school. There's not a fraternity row and all that. So it's not like when you think fraternity, Cal Poly's not like that. And so I didn't even rush my freshman year. I was like, these guys suck. And then my sophomore year, all of my friends were in ZBT. And they're like, just come try it. I'm like, no, that stuff's stupid. Like, I don't even drink. And they're like, that's fine. And that's another thing. Hey, I've never drank and I was in a fraternity. Mind blowing. Probably would never have happened in like a big state southern school or something. But Cal Poly, I never drank once and I was in a fraternity. I know, probably sounds insane, but it was awesome. And I remember when I did rush, my friend's like, just go talk to this guy, and I'll shout him out. He's kind of a quieter guy, but Jonathan Wallach. I remember I talked to him and I'm like, I'm better than everyone here. They're just a bunch of people that want to drink and party. And this kid was basically bought a house his senior year in college, was doing a full-time internship for Amazon coding, making good money, and hadn't graduated yet. And then I think Amazon was like paying for his master's, and he's doing his degree and master's within 4. And it was, I don't know if it was software engineering. I forgot what his major was, but I basically talked to this guy and went, oh shit, I am a loser. This guy's legit. And I kind of look around, met other guys, and it was the thing I loved about ZBT, and I will, Marco and Shane, promote it to you guys. Maybe go check them out. Is at that time, it was like 50% were business majors and 50% were engineers. And it was a beautiful mix because, engineers, stereotypical, quiet, keeping themselves very reserved. There's 50% of that. And then business majors are, more outgoing, fun, want to party. And then you blend them and you get ZBT. And it was beautiful because I was with a bunch of people that were there for a reason, worked hard in school. Like all of my friends they all have, and we're all done now. And then I could name half the kids I knew in that fraternity have the coolest job I've ever heard of, live in great places. They're all happy. It's beautiful to see once everyone graduates, and when you're with like good people, it's beautiful to see. And it was a good mix because you have these hard workers, and it rubbed off on the business majors. So now these business majors are like working hard and taking their stuff seriously. But then the business majors are like, hey, engineers, like, you got to work hard, but you have to have a good time. And it was a beautiful mix. I loved it. I had a great time. And it was a really good decision for me. When I look back on it, it was a great decision because coming out of COVID, my freshman year, I had friends, I knew a lot of people, but I'm definitely a really outgoing person, and being in the fraternity gave me a larger outlook. I met more people, like really cool on campus events, um, and I had a blast, and I highly recommend it. But you also at the same time want to vet where you go, because I always think of like a couple guys that I knew my freshman year. I was like, oh, friend, cool guy. They went with a different fraternity, not saying which one or like that there's an issue, but you have to vet your fraternity because you can develop a drinking problem your freshman, sophomore year that plagues you 3 years out of college, 4 years out of college, 10 years out of college. And you have to think about that. So when you go pick a fraternity, yeah, you're a freshman's like, yeah, I want to party and it's fun and cool and drinking and it's sick. You got to make sure that that's not your life. Um, that'll hurt you. And I just want to share that. So you want to make sure that you join the club, fraternity, whatever it is, and surround yourself with people that you want to be like and emulate. And that is one of the cooler things about fraternity is it's the one club or whatever on campus where you actually get connected with upperclassmen in your major, in your skill set, similar hobbies and interests. And it's really nice because that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm trying to share as someone that's a little older what my time was like my freshman year and maybe give you some tips and things, and like maybe this video helped you think like, oh, like I'm going to apply that my freshman year. And that'd be huge because I want what's best for all of you. And yeah, so be a yes man, don't be a douche, branch out, and just have a great time because you're away from your family, you're starting your life as your own individual, and it can be beautiful. So make the right investments, water your seeds, give them sunshine, put them in good dirt. And yeah, I hope you have a wonderful freshman year. Shane, Marco, Violet, I hope you have a great time. Shane and Marco, Cal Poly's the best. You're going to love it. Hit the tri-tip challenge, hit the beaches. I'm going to not blow up the local spots because local spots are something that you should go find and experience face to face, word of mouth. And you'll find everything. It'll all in good time. The places you want to go, the people you'll meet, you're on your own path, and I think life will bring you where you need to be. So, yep. And Violet, Austin seems epic. You're gonna have a great time too. So, for everyone who's going into their freshman year, maybe you're just younger in college, or maybe you're in high school looking at freshman year, hopefully this was helpful. And I appreciate you guys, fellow engine nerds. I'll provide you more updates on the Engine Nerd Club as it comes along, but I appreciate it. Thank you.